Post 1. I, 27 female, don't understand why everyone's acting like I'm some kind of monster. For years, I've been the friend who's always there when people need me. I'm the one who covers dinners when someone forgets their wallet. I'm the one who buys birthday gifts when other people are too broke. I'm the one who puts down deposits when we plan a trip. And now, suddenly, I'm being called manipulative. Here's what happened. I've had the same core group of friends since college. 5 of us, all women. Back then, I was the only one with a decent part-time job. They used to joke that I was the mom of the group because I kept us organized. If someone couldn't afford something, I'd cover it. If rent was late, I'd float the money until payday. I never minded, because I knew they'd do the same for me if the tables were turned. Fast forward to now, though, and things have changed. They all have stable jobs. One's even a nurse, another's a teacher, another works in tech. I thought that would mean they'd finally return the favor, like maybe if I needed help, they'd have my back. But instead, it feels like they've decided I don't matter. A few months ago, I lost my job. It wasn't my fault. My boss was a jerk who didn't appreciate me, and the company was a sinking ship anyway. I figured it was fine. I had savings. And besides, my friends knew how much I'd done for them over the years. So when I asked them to spot me rent for a couple of months while I got back on my feet, I honestly didn't think it was a big deal. But they acted like I was asking for the moon. The nurse said she already had student loans. The teacher complained about her tiny paycheck. And the tech girl straight up said, "You've always been irresponsible with money," which is ridiculous. Yes, I like nice things, but that doesn't mean I'm irresponsible. I reminded them of all the times I'd covered for them in the past. Vacations, dinners, bills. Thousands of dollars if you add it up. They just stared at me like I was crazy. One even said, "We never asked you to do all that," as if they didn't benefit from it. So I got frustrated. I told them that real friends don't just vanish when things get tough, that I'd basically carried this group for years, and the least they could do was help me now. And do you know what they did? They froze me out. Stopped answering texts, stopped inviting me places, even made a new group chat without me. Now they're posting pictures together at dinners, trips, game nights. All things I used to organize and often pay for. And when I called one of them to ask what was going on, she had the nerve to say, "We're tired of being used." Used? After everything I did for them? So now I'm sitting here, alone, cut off from the people I thought were my closest friends. And I really don't get it. Was I wrong for expecting them to step up for me after all the times I stepped up for them? So, am I the jerk for asking my friends to cover me financially now when I've basically been bankrolling our friendship for years? First comment, yes. You were never helping them out of kindness. You were buying control, and now you're mad they don't want to play along anymore. Second comment, this sounds like you're just getting a taste of your own medicine. Maybe they were tired of being reminded how much you did for them. OP reply, that's not fair. I did do all that for them. If I hadn't stepped up, half those trips and dinners never would have happened. I'm not buying control. I'm just asking for loyalty. Isn't that what friendship is? Update 1. Well, things have only gotten worse since I last posted. Apparently, my ex-friends weren't content just freezing me out. They had to drag me publicly, too. I went to a mutual friend's birthday dinner last weekend. I knew the group would be there, but I figured we could be civil for one night. I even brought a gift, because unlike them, I still know how to show up. The second I sat down, the air went ice cold. They barely looked at me, let alone spoke. Finally, halfway through the meal, one of them snapped. She said, loud enough for the whole table to hear, "Stop acting like we owe you anything." You chose to throw money around all those years. That was on you, not us. I was stunned. I told her, if I hadn't stepped up, none of you would have been able to afford half the things we did together. You'd have no memories, no trips, no nice nights out. And instead of being grateful, the whole table turned on me. Another one chimed in. We don't want memories bought with guilt. You held it over our heads every time. I wanted to scream. I wasn't holding it over their heads. I was just reminding them of the facts. But of course, they twisted it. The worst part? A couple of people at the table I barely know joined in. They don't even know the history, but they nodded along like I was some villain. Someone muttered, "Wow, no wonder they cut her off." I left before dessert. I was shaking with anger all the way home. And then I saw the posts, pictures of the dinner, all smiles and laughs, with captions like, "Real friends don't keep score." That was aimed at me, obviously. Do they really think I'm the bad guy here? I carried this group financially for years. If I reminded them of it a few times, so what? It's the truth. If anything, they should feel guilty for taking advantage of me all that time. But no, now they've got people believing I'm manipulative and controlling when all I ever did was give. First comment, you're still missing it. True generosity doesn't come with strings. You weren't giving, you were investing in leverage. They saw it, and they walked away. Second comment, exactly. You didn't carry them. You used money to make yourself feel important, and now you're mad it backfired. OP reply, you all keep acting like I was some puppet master. I wasn't. I wanted us to have fun, and I made that happen. How is that selfish? It's not my fault they can't handle being reminded of the truth. Update 2. I'll admit I let my anger get the better of me this week. After the disaster at the birthday dinner, I decided I wasn't going to sit quietly while they slandered me with their little "real friends don't keep score" captions. So, I posted. On Facebook, Instagram, everywhere. I put up a long status saying, "Funny how some people forget the thousands I spent over the years so they could have vacations, dinners, and parties. Now suddenly I'm the bad guy for asking a little support in return. Loyalty apparently means nothing these days." I didn't name names, but obviously everyone knew who I meant. And the comments. Wow. Half my relatives jumped in to say things like, "You've always been so generous. Don't let them walk over you." And true friends would stick around. That felt good, I won't lie. But then my ex-friends fired back. One of them commented directly, "You didn't spend money for us. You spent it so you could control us. Stop rewriting history." Another wrote, "If you were actually generous, you wouldn't be using receipts as weapons years later." Then they posted screenshots. Actual screenshots from old group chats where I'd said things like, "Don't forget who covered the last trip," or, "You guys should be grateful I keep making these plans happen." Taken out of context, of course, but enough to make me look petty. People I barely know started chiming in, saying I sounded toxic and controlling. I was livid, so I doubled down. I posted again, this time saying, "It's hilarious that people who couldn't afford a meal without me are now acting holier than thou." That one didn't land well. A coworker DM'd me saying I sounded unhinged. Now the group has blocked me completely. They even made a post together with a photo captioned, "We're happier without the drama." Everyone liked it. I could barely scroll without feeling sick. I don't understand. I gave them everything. I made our friendship sparkle when it would have been dull. And now, because I dared to ask for something back, I'm the villain? First comment. You're not daring to ask. You're demanding repayment for gifts you used to keep control. That's not generosity. That's manipulation. Second comment. Exactly. If you really gave from the heart, you wouldn't need to post long rants about how much they owe you. OP reply, it's not manipulation, it's reality. People should be loyal to the ones who made their lives better. If they can't even acknowledge that, maybe I was too good to them all along. Update 4. After the housewarming scene, as they call it, I decided I wasn't going to let them get away with making me look like some deranged hanger-on. If they're going to treat me like I'm disposable, then fine. But they don't get to keep benefiting from everything I did for them without consequences. So I sent a message. Not in the group chat, since they kicked me out like cowards, but individually, one by one. I told them, either you acknowledge what I've done for this group and make things right, or I want the money I put into our friendship back. Every deposit, every bill I covered, every dinner I spotted. I've got records? Yes, maybe that sounds harsh. But why shouldn't I? They keep claiming they never asked me to pay, but they sure didn't refuse the vacations or the meals, did they? If they want to act like I wasn't generous, then fine. Call it a loan. Pay me back. Only one of them responded. The teacher. She wrote back, this proves everything we've been saying. You never helped us because you cared. You did it so you could hold it over us later. We don't owe you anything. Stop contacting us. That's it. Nothing from the rest. No apologies, no offers, not even a defense. Just silence. So I've decided, if they won't acknowledge me, they don't deserve me. I've blocked most of them, unfollowed the rest, and told mutual friends they'll have to choose. Me or them. Some people call that dramatic. I call it drawing boundaries, because here's the truth. I was the one who made that group fun. I was the one who made those years special. Without me, they'll realize how dull their little lives really are. First comment, this just cements it. Real friends don't send invoices for friendship. You're not owed loyalty or money. They cut you off because you prove them right. Update 5. So apparently I'm radioactive now. Word got around about the messages I sent asking for my money back, and suddenly mutual friends are busy or can't get involved. One even texted me, I don't want to pick sides. Translation, they already picked. I ran into one of the old group at the grocery store. She looked at me like I was some stranger, just said a stiff hi, and hurried away. Later that night, I saw her post a picture with the others at brunch. Caption, surround yourself with people who lift you up. The passive aggressiveness is insane. Even my own cousin called me out. She said, you're being toxic. Friendships aren't about keeping score easy for her to say. She never had to be the one footing the bill. And here's the kicker. I actually started tallying everything up, just to prove I wasn't exaggerating. Between deposits, dinners, and vacations, I easily spent over $10,000 on that group over the years. 10 grand. And now they want to act like I was just some hanger-on? I keep telling myself I don't need them, that I'm better off without people who can't recognize loyalty. But the silence hurts more than I thought it would. Nights are long when you realize the group chat isn't lighting up anymore because they made a new one without you. Still, I won't cave. I won't apologize for being the one who actually invested in our friendship. If they can't see that, it's their loss. First comment, you literally tallied up a bill for friendship. That says it all. They didn't cut you off for no reason. They cut you off because you turned generosity into a weapon. Final update, 1 year later. It's been about a year since my so-called friends froze me out, and I'll admit, at first I thought they'd come crawling back. I figured once they realized how boring life was without me organizing everything, they'd reach out. They never did. And honestly, that's fine. I don't need people who can't appreciate loyalty. I've accepted that most people are selfish. They take what they can and vanish when the giving stops. That group proved it. I won't lie. The first few months were lonely. No trips, no dinners, no group chats buzzing late at night. But I've moved on. I've started focusing on myself, taking solo vacations, treating myself to the kinds of experiences I used to plan for everyone else. And it feels good not having to deal with ungrateful people tagging along. People keep asking if I regret keeping score. No, I don't. Because keeping score was the only way to show the truth, that I carried that group on my back for years. They didn't like seeing it in black and white because it made them look bad. That's not my problem anymore. I'm done trying to make people see my side. Let them post their good vibes only pictures and act like saints. At the end of the day, I know what really happened, and I've moved on.